Okay, the next thing we're going to take a look at is the Bluetooth module. The Bluetooth module is a little different than the sensors because it allows communication between devices. And it's going to give us an opportunity to control this robot and drive it remotely. You could also use the Bluetooth module for other projects, like if you wanted to control automatic windows across your house, or if you have a gardening system outside you need to turn on. Different things. You could design all sorts of projects around the idea of a Bluetooth module. To get started, like with all the sensors that we've played with so far, we want to open up a new file to work with. So new, that you guys can see. And there's a few things that we want. This code is going to be a little different, and I'm just going to kind of bounce over a few things that as you explore more into it, you'll understand a bit better. First thing that's new is we need to use a library to get the Bluetooth module to work properly. A library is like a whole separate set of subcodes or subprograms that help us work with the robot. Now, there's tons of different libraries you can choose from. The one we're going to be using today is called Software Serial. So I'm going to type in include software serial.h, and that's a program that's inside your Arduino install folders. But by doing that, it gives us a whole new series of commands that we can use throughout the program. So the next one is we need to set up what we're going to be plugging the Bluetooth module into. So yes, that's right, software serial my serial, and it's plugged into 3 and 2. If you don't get any data when you first try this, try reversing these numbers. Then we're going to set up a string command. So what this is going to do, it's just a string is a longer type of integer, and we're making one called command. So let's say string command equals semicolon. So that's going to put a string command within those brackets. We're going to set up an integer for blue value. So blue value. We're going to make that equal to 0. So just it's a variable, we can use it later if we need to. And we're going to make a char, another thing like an integer, called val. So this is just a place we've got, it's like an integer, we can put a value into val. And that val can be anything, it can be alphanumeric. Alright, so let's get into the setup for this. So in the void setup, a few more things we need to do. So we want to communicate with the computer as well. So I'm going to go serial.begin, and we'll set the baud rate again at 11.5200. And then we're going to print a command in the setup. So it's going to print this command one time and never print it again, which it's nice because then we know we're properly communicating. So serial.print, and we'll do an ln so it moves down. Enter command. So we'll just know that the serial monitor is working by entering that. And then we need to set up the baud rate for my serial, the one that's communicating between the Bluetooth and the Arduino. My serial.begin, and that's going to be 9600. So just a different baud rate. In the void loop, we've got a few more things we need to do. So down here in the void loop, we're going to say if my serial dot available. So if the Bluetooth is connected to the Arduino, so the serial, my serial is available, it's going to return a program. Okay. Then in brackets, because this isn't a statement, it's a function, I'm going to assign val, that variable I made before, to my serial dot read. So I'm reading my serial, brackets for that value to go into, or sorry, not for that value to go into, but brackets for the value. And then let's print what val is. So serial dot print line val. And let's scroll down a bit. So I've got my if statements closed off. And that's good. So we can upload this to our robot and see what happens. Oh, gotta save it first. There we go, uploading. Just going to my apps right now. I'm loading an app called Blue Control version 2, and I'm connecting it to my Bluetooth module. You may have to play around a little bit to get your device to connect to the Bluetooth. Right now, this tutorial is working with Android. You might have some difficulties using an iPhone. There are apps out there, and you're going to have to get to this stage to read what the values they're giving you are. If you're logging into if you're connecting to the Bluetooth for the first time, you'll probably have to enter a password. Chances are it's 1, 2, 3, 4 by default, but it could also be A or ABCD. I've had all options. Alright, so I'm connected. I'm going to open my serial monitor and we'll see what happens here. So okay, enter command, that ran one time like we wanted. And now I'm pushing buttons inside a Blue Control and I'm getting a val. So I know when I push a certain button, so if I push my center button, it gives me a value of C. If I push the right button, it gives me a value of an R. The left button gives me a value of L. D for the down button, and U for the up button. So you can kind of figure out by those letters which directions you can use. There's also a series of lettered buttons on the side for different operations, and they're going to give you a lowercase value. So you've got lots of different values that you can work with here. So let's close that. Alright, so back into our program, we can write some little programs within here. Now, if my serial is available, I can do a few things. So let's say if val equals, and let's say up, so there was a capital U for up, like so. If val equals that, in brackets, I'm just going to tab this over so it looks a bit better. So if val equals U, then let's say forward. You would have to copy over your functions from the other program. And let's say forward 420 milliseconds. Now you could go through and have that's for val. If you want to do more though, because there's so many values you can call here, you can use else ifs. So else if val equals, and we'll put in quotations D because that was for down. Now you could say reverse. And let's give it a value of 20, whatever, something to work with. Go through the program and add enough commands here so you can control your robot. Play around with it, see what you can do, and yeah, that's it for how to use the Bluetooth module. You guys can sort it out from there. The next step would be to incorporate the sensors into the commands for the Bluetooth module.